Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna watch Friday the 13th, the final chapter from 1984. Let's hit it. The whole thing kicks off with Paul from part 2 of this series, telling the counselors the legend of Jason Voorhees, while we see random clips from the first 3 movies until we reach the end of part 3, where Chris kills Jason. Now we're at Camp Crystal Lake, where the police and coroners are cleaning up Jason's latest mess, including Jason himself, still lying on the barn floor. Jason is taken to the morgue along with the rest of the bodies. At one point, this coroner puts Jason in the icebox, but due to a mistake, the door doesn't close properly. Then, while he's watching television, surprise! Next, he catches this nurse and slices her up like a Thanksgiving turkey. Here we meet some new characters, among them a baby-faced Corey Feldman playing Tommy, a kid who loves crafting horror masks, and a young Crispin Glover, 1 year before he played George McFly in Back to the Future. These teens head to camp the next day because apparently nobody bothers cordoning off crime scenes in these movies. They stop to check the map since they're lost. Then, they spot Pamela Voorhees' tombstone by the road. There aren't any cemeteries around here, I guess? Anyway, they keep going and pass this hitchhiker chick, but instead of stopping, they yelling stuff at her. Resigned, she sits down to eat a banana, but it looks like Jason hates bananas too. The group rolls up to camp and settles into a house next door to Tommy's, where he lives with his mom and his sister Trish. The teens wander around and meet 2 twin sisters who they invite to join the crew. The whole movie's just them talking about sex, and more sex, and sometimes showing it. Well, it's an 80s slasher flick. What'd you expect? Trish and Tommy get stuck with a busted car, and this hunter named Rob shows up to lend a hand with the engine. Grateful, they give him a ride to camp and invite him into their house. Tommy, all excited, drags him to his room to show off his creations. I love this kid. He's like a little Tom Savini. Rob heads out after that and goes camping nearby. The fun keeps going at the house for the group of teens. Man, check out those moves, Crispin Glover. This girl storms off from the party, jealous that her boyfriend's dancing with one of the twins, and heads to the lake for a naked swim because these people can't keep their clothes on for more than 5 minutes. She spots a raft floating alone and climbs onto it. But out of nowhere, Jason shows up to keep her company. Later, her boyfriend, feeling bad, goes after her. From the shore, he sees his girlfriend on the raft and swims out there. He gets close, and horror shows she's dead. He hauls ass back to the shore, but curiosity killed the cat. Harpoon to the groin. Rob hears the screams and heads out to check it out, machete in hand. He spots someone near his tent, but when he turns back, they're gone and his hunting rifle's snapped in two. Back at the house, the kids are watching an old black and white flick. This twin, already bored out of her mind, decides to leave. She grabs her bike, but Jason intercepts her and takes her out off-screen. Seconds later, we see her being impaled against the wall. It's raining now. Tommy's mom gets back to the house after jogging and finds the power's out. Gordon, the family dog, doesn't come when she calls, so she steps outside to look for him. Suddenly, something spooks her, we don't know what, because we cut to this scene where Trish and Tommy are coming home. Noticing Mom's gone, Trish heads out to find her and ends up at Rob's tent, ducking inside for a sec. A shadow moves behind her and slash! Machete to the tent. But it's not Jason, it's Rob, thinking the intruder was inside. Meanwhile, back at the house, Crispin Glover heads to the kitchen to uncork some wine and looks for the corkscrew, and he finds it. Upstairs in the room, this girl peers out the window and notices her sister's bike is still there, which starts to worry her. But that doesn't last long because Jason crashes through the glass and tosses her like a frisbee. At the tent, Rob tells Trish that Jason killed his sister Sandra, and I'm guessing he means that Sandra from Friday the 13th Part 2. Not sure. She fires back that Jason's dead, but he argues Jason's still alive. Back at the house, this guy's left alone watching the movie, then gets up and walks over to the screen when the projector film suddenly cuts out. And one down. Upstairs, these two are showering together. She steps out, and he keeps showering solo. Then, thinking she's back, he jokes around with her, but watermelon juice. She comes back later, finds his corpse and bolts out of there horrified, but the door's jammed. She's freaking out, and bam! Axe to the chest. Trish and Rob return to the house worried about Tommy. They still know nothing about their mother. Trish tries to use the phone to call for help, but Jason shuts that down. Rob and Trish go to the teen's house and seeing the busted door, Rob suspects Jason's been there. Rob heads down to the basement. Trish finds the dog, but he leaps through a window and bolts out of the house like, "Fuck him, I'm out of here." Meanwhile, Tommy's digging through Rob's backpack and finds his stash of newspaper clippings about all the killings at the camp so far. Trish steps into the bathroom and follows a trail of blood with her eyes until she spots the corpse, now nailed to the wall, and heads down to the basement to warn Rob. But just as they're about to leave, Rob goes back for a knife, getting ambushed by Jason, who kills him slowly with a garden claw while Trish watches, helpless, before leaving. She barely gets a foot upstairs before deciding to head back down. What? Total silence. So Trish climbs the stairs, only to get jumped by Jason through them. A couple of machete swings at Jason's arm, and Trish gets away. Outside the house, she runs into one of the twins' bodies, then Crispin Glover staked at the doorway. She escapes through a window. Couldn't she just walk past the body out the door? I don't get it. Anyway, she heads back to her house for Tommy, but instead of running, Trish decides to barricade the entrance. Jason throws Rob through a window. Special delivery! Then grabs Tommy, but a solid hammer smack from Trish buys them a few seconds to escape. Jason busts through the door like it's made of styrofoam and goes after them. The siblings haul ass upstairs. They get into the room and block the door. Who's there? Jason hacks his way through and bam, screen to the head. With Jason half knocked out on the floor, Trish passes by him, but Jason gets up and chases her all the way to the teen's house. She runs upstairs, but cornered, she throws herself out a window and lands flat on her back. And don't ask me how she didn't die. Oh, you're still alive? Don't worry. I'll be right down. Meanwhile, we see Tommy in the bathroom cutting his hair. Trish gets back to the house. Oh, there you are. Tommy's still cutting his hair. Machete swings here and there, and Jason needs a band-aid. Trish keeps swinging the machete while yelling at Tommy to get the hell out of there. A machete chop to Jason's chest, but it's not enough to stop him. Suddenly, Tommy appears with a shaved head catching Jason's eye. Jason! And giving Trish the chance to land a machete blow that knocks off his mask, revealing his messed up face. Jason goes for her, so Tommy grabs the machete from the floor and slams it right into his face. Jason crashes face first to the ground. Oh! He is dead, they hug in relief, but Tommy sees Jason still twitching, so... Next up, we're in a hospital room. A doctor tells Trish that Tommy's fine and his behavior was normal considering the hell he went through. She asks to see her brother. Then, she's left alone in the room when Tommy shows up, hurries over, and they hug tightly, putting this nightmare to rest for now. Well, Mrs. Jarvis bit it off screen, pushing the body count to 13 for this chapter. But don't worry, Gordon is fine. Alright, that's Friday the 13th, the final chapter, or part 4, take your pick. Hope you like the bloodbath, hit like, subscribe for more scares, thanks for watching, and...
Hasta la vista, baby.